I like to feel my best.
Okay, let's get you out of this chair.
For others, and for myself.
Nice work, Poppy.
Hey, thanks.
Some cardio, then we'll go to the service group?
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, hey, check out this sculpting routine for next week.
Hey girl, sculpt your body and drive men crazy with this high-intensity workout.
What?
She's certainly proud of her physique.
She's got millions of followers.
Yeah, I can see why.
She gets noticed. What's so wrong with a little attention?
In the video, the witnesses involved had not yet done anything wrong. But shall we say that they were entering a realm where it might be as if they stepped in something offensive to Christ Jesus' nostrils. Well, what was the first one? The potential of being drawn into sexual uncleanness. You're saying, come on, it was pretty benign, wasn't it? There's nothing wrong with an exercise program. True. But you notice what was driving it? It was something on the internet, a following. And when it said, you'll have a body that will make men's head turn, did that trigger something? What was behind that? What was the purpose? So our topic here is keep free from uncleanness. Uncleanness can involve things that titillate one, their feelings. And they want more. And they want more. It's like garbage sitting in the garage. It begins to stink further and further every day, every minute. We need to decisively get it off the property.
I don't know whether it's appropriate to laugh at this point. It's just because it's so tragic, isn't it? This man's mind is a mess. And what he's here doing is talking about a video. So I've shown you just a brief clip from the video. It shows a number of different scenarios. And in one of those scenarios, it's dealing with a couple who are considering evading taxes in order to get a bit more money in and get by and that kind of thing. So he's commenting on this video, and I'm showing you the part where he's specifically talking about the gym encounter and the Instagram reel or whatever it is where they talk about sculpting your body so that it will drive men crazy, or however they put it. Ken Flodin is talking about how it may seem benign, but this is a slippery slope to uncleanness. Because what's the objective here? Is it to keep fit, or is it to seduce men? Is it to titillate? Because titillating men with your body is a fast track to uncleanness and can make you offensive to Jesus' nostrils. His words. His words, not mine. Folks, do I need to add anything? Again, I'm just so glad when speakers like Ken Flodin step on the stage who are completely lacking in self-awareness. It's almost like Ken Flodin is a little bit of a throwback to Tony Morris. And I remember saying before Tony Morris got kicked off the governing body, whenever I was commenting on Ken's talks, it was almost like he was like a pupil of Tony Morris, in that Tony Morris had a very clear hatred of uncleanness or things that he perceived to be on the wrong side of the high standards that Jehovah's Witnesses are expected to follow. And Ken Flodin, the tone of his talks very much followed that. And what we now have on the governing body are kind of more palatable speakers like Gage Flegel, like Jeff Winder, like Mark Sanderson. And when they're talking, they have a bit more self-awareness, and what they say has a little bit more credibility. We don't really have the Tony Morris rants anymore. We sometimes get them still with Stephen Lett and with David Splain. Well, Ken Flodin, he's not a governing body member, although he clearly thinks very highly of the governing body, worships them, in fact. He's not a governing body member, but he fits into that category of Jehovah's Witness speakers, prominent Jehovah's Witness speakers, who are just completely lacking in self-awareness. They exist in this bubble where everything that might conceivably lead someone towards committing sin is automatically bad. And what it reminded me of when he was speaking was the way the Pharisees of Jesus' time were criticized for adding extra rules on needlessly to the law, to the point where they were creating a fence around the law. So the law covenant, or the Mosaic law, is so crucial for us to not break it. So let's create a whole bunch of other laws that stop people getting even close to breaking those rules. And isn't that precisely what we're seeing here? Precisely what we're seeing with Ken Flodin's slippery slope reasoning. Apparently, Jehovah's Witnesses need to be paranoid even about going to the gym and making their bodies look good, because what if they're doing it for the wrong reasons? What if this could lead to uncleanness?
Please read with me Ephesians 5, 3 and 4. It says, let sexual immorality, now that's an outright serious sin. But then it uses the word and. And it says, every sort of uncleanness or greediness not even be mentioned among you, just as is proper for holy people. Neither shameful conduct, nor foolish talking, nor obscene jesting, things that are putrefied. It says not befitting, but rather the giving of thanks. Uncleanness includes viewing pornography. It's true, it's not sexual fornication. There's no body contact. But it's stirring something up, and it's called uncleanness. Engaging in online discussions glorifying sex. Looking at provocative images wherever they are. It could be in a catalog. Sexting, again, no physical contact, but it is sexual uncleanness. So, nothing wrong with the sister's exercise routine. But it was this online tantalizing voice in her ear that could lead from bad to worse, like garbage sitting in the garage. It needs to be taken out to the landfill and burned. Well, we commend all of you, and when I say all of you, I'm not talking about those in their late teens and 20s. I'm talking about all of you, whatever age, all of you who are holding fast to the high moral standards of Jehovah, including staying away from uncleanness. What a treasure you are. And if you're battling that, what should you do? Take decisive action now like Jesus did. Drive it out. Drive it out of the dock to the dump.
There he goes with his garbage again. It's just his default metaphor that he reaches for every time. But in all seriousness, this is just sexual repression. This is just an entire generation receiving the same orders that the previous generations received, that I think mess with people on a very profound level. Again, it's creating this fence around what the Bible actually says about sex, and it's creating all these other restrictions and all these other rules that impede on people's sexual development. And I think, when you mess with people's sexual development or sexuality, you're really playing with fire. I genuinely believe that. I think it can have profound repercussions later in life when you stop people from exploring their sexuality in a healthy way and you impose needless boundaries. But again, this is a talk that could have been given by Toni Morris. It's just a throwback to the Morris era of talks. And Ken Flodin, who gets to give this talk and write this talk in a way because he's on the teaching committee, Ken Flodin is almost outright declaring himself as almost a disciple of Toni Morris, who's wanting to keep that flame burning, that flame of repression, of needless rules, of anger, of clamping down, and of telling people how they should live their lives. That was very much the Toni Morris playbook, and it's alive and well, at least in the form of Ken Flodin.